It began with flashes over Tel Aviv. Then came the smoke. Iranian state media claims ballistic missiles struck the city without being intercepted. Visuals show explosions, burning vehicles, and thick black plumes rising over what appears to be a densely populated area. At the same time, Tehran echoed with blasts as US and Israeli airstrikes pounded the Iranian capital. The conflict is now unfolding across multiple fronts, from central Israel to the Persian Gulf. According to Press TV, Iranian ballistic missiles hit Tel Aviv without being intercepted by Israel's air defense systems. Visuals posted by the outlet show a series of blasts, fire, and heavy smoke rising into the night sky. The footage appears to show multiple missiles slamming into buildings. The surrounding area looks densely populated. Another report by the Associated Press said firefighters were seen extinguishing scorched vehicles in central Israel following missile salvos from Iran on Tuesday. Israel's rescue services say at least 11 people have been killed since Sunday. The scale of damage is still being assessed. Separate reports claim Iran targeted the largest U.S. radar installation in the Persian Gulf. The system is said to be capable of monitoring the entire Middle East. With a reported range of 5,000 kilometers and a cost of $1.1 billion, it functions as an early warning shield. If confirmed, the targeting of such a system would mark a significant escalation in the conflict. There has been no immediate official confirmation from Washington. Across Tehran, explosions rang out overnight. Smoke billowed into the sky as US and Israeli airstrikes targeted the Iranian capital. The sound of blasts echoed across the city at sunset on Tuesday. The strikes come after killing of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. Since then, the US and Israel have continued military operations against Iranian targets. Iran and its allies are responding with strikes aimed at Israel, Gulf states, and infrastructure tied to oil and gas production. The battlefield is no longer confined to one city. It stretches across the region. Iran's foreign ministry has launched a direct challenge to Washington's justification for the strikes, dismissing claims of an imminent threat as baseless. Speaking from inside a school scarred by airstrikes, spokesperson Ismail Baghai Khani demanded which imminent threat. Citing what he described as a Pentagon assessment that Iran posed no danger to the United States, Tehran insists the weekend assault had no legal or legitimate grounds, escalating the war of words alongside the conflict on the ground.
The American president states that Iran was an imminent threat.
Which imminent threat are you referring to? The Pentagon's own intelligence report clearly indicated that Iran presented no direct threat to the security of the United States. It was we who posed the real danger. Did Iran ever launch any violent attacks or bring any form of aggression to the shores of America?
Is Iran's problem that it's in?
Is it truly surrounded by hundreds of American military bases throughout the entire region?
Was it us who sent a missile to the White House, or was it you? But in the last few hours, he's brought up something else entirely. Mr. Witkoff stated that we had 4 demands from Iran. My fellow citizens, please pay close attention.
Ending Iran's nuclear program, ending Iran's missile program, leaving our people defenseless against their crimes today, ending the missile program. Put an end to every kind of support for your allies in the region, and bringing about the termination of the Iranian Navy.
Let me tell you quite frankly, none of these particular discussions were ever brought up. Not a single one of these specific issues was actually raised during the Geneva negotiations. These are nothing but blatant lies that they are constantly fabricating and spreading, purely to justify this action. Good relations with all neighboring countries. This era will pass, and Iran will emerge with pride from this historic trial. Do not doubt it. Our civilization says this, our history says this, and the God of Iran desires this for us. We will triumph over evil.
The countries of the region must know, and they do know, that this war is not against Iran. It is only against the region. It is against the Islamic world. What we are doing is targeting. These are the places that serve as the origin and source of attacks against Iran. This is a principle of international law. We have been subjected to military aggression. We have the right to defend ourselves. We have a duty to defend ourselves when from their bases, firm military action is being waged against us in the region's countries. So what are we to do but defend ourselves? Therefore, our defensive action is not against any country in the region. The territorial integrity and national sovereignty of every single country in the region are respected by us. And I wish we were confronted with a situation where the United States was unable to utilize the soil of neighboring Muslim nations, their sovereign territory, for military aggression against another Muslim country during the sacred month of Ramadan.
A declaration of escalation from Tehran. Iran says it has struck 60 strategic targets and 500 American and Israeli military points in just 48 hours. More than 700 drones and hundreds of ballistic missiles. That is the scale Iran now claims. Across Israel, sirens are sounding from the north to Tel Aviv. The United States has confirmed 6 of its military personnel have been killed, and the region, once tense, is now an open multi-front confrontation. Ibrahim Zulfikari, spokesperson for Iran's Joint Army and Revolutionary Guard Coordination Center, announced sweeping operations on Monday. He said Iran had struck 60 strategic targets and 500 military points of America and Israel. According to Zulfikari, in just the past 48 hours, Iran fired more than 700 drones and hundreds of ballistic missiles. He claimed this exceeded the scale of the previous 12-day war.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, the 11th wave of Operation True Promise 4 was executed in a comprehensive, extensive, and high-intensity combined operation by the naval and aerospace operational groups of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps against American and Zionist military targets on the 3rd day of the terrorist enemy's aggressions against our beloved homeland. The intelligence centers and military support warehouses belonging to the United States in the Persian Gulf region, the communications industry complex of the Israeli regime's army located in Beersheba, and more than 20 locations in the areas of Tel Aviv, West Jerusalem, and Galilee in the occupied territories were all struck by Iranian missiles and drones. The proud and valiant members of Iran's armed forces, by launching an assault on 60 strategic targets and 500 military sites belonging to America and Israel, have, up to this very moment, fired more than 700 drones and hundreds of ballistic missiles, thereby defeating our enemies in their interception attempts and establishing a new record. They achieved more than what was accomplished in the entire 12-day war, all within the past 48 hours against the invading enemies. The brutal and terroristic actions perpetrated by the United States Army and the Zionist regime against the oppressed Iranian citizens, particularly in their savage attack on hospitals, schools, the national media, and civil institutions will, more than ever, forge the resolve within the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran to wage an all-out war against its enemies, thereby elevating the scope of our nation's military operations. And victory comes from none other than Allah, the Almighty, the All-Wise.
The United States has confirmed the deaths of 6 military personnel at the time of publication. The fatalities come after US and Israeli strikes on Iran early Saturday morning. Tehran described its drone and missile barrage as retaliation against both Israel and US assets across the region. Explosions have been reported in multiple Gulf countries as the confrontation expands beyond a single battlefield. Each side now frames its actions as defensive response to the other's escalation. Inside Israel, sirens have sounded repeatedly. Rockets were fired from Lebanon, triggering alerts across northern Israel, including the Galilee Panhandle and the Golan Heights. The militant group Hezbollah reportedly launched rockets and drones toward Israeli territory. Moments later, sirens rang out in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and central Israel amid Iran's latest ballistic missile salvo. Civilians were instructed to enter bomb shelters as the Israel Defense Forces worked to intercept incoming projectiles. The conflict now stretches from Israel's northern border to its central urban core. This escalation follows confirmed strikes on Saturday that killed Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei. That development marked a historic and destabilizing moment. It came after several rounds of talks between Washington and Tehran had already faltered. Now, missile exchanges, drone warfare, and cross-border rocket fire define the landscape.